Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're digging into the Daily Fix from Puddin's POP.
Yeah, that's puttinspop.com/picks.html if you want to follow along.
Right. And, if you're someone who likes getting up to speed quickly on different topics, well, this is a great look into sports betting analysis.
Using today's baseball predictions as a kind of case study.
Exactly. So the goal today is really to understand what's driving their top baseball picks for May 8th, 2025.
Okay, yeah. And first off, their track record this season is, well, it's pretty solid.
Tell us about that.
So for their strong plays, they're sitting at 8 wins and 3 losses.
Not bad.
And good plays are 6 and 4. Overall, that puts them at 14 wins, 7 losses.
Okay.
And maybe the most interesting part, their bankroll, hypothetically, is up 2.0%.
Oh, wow. So it suggests they're not just picking winners, but finding some value, too.
That seems to be the case, yeah. A positive return is always a good sign. So let's jump into their top picks for today.
Great. Let's start with the strong play. They've got the Philadelphia Phillies on the money line.
Right, against the Tampa Bay Rays at Tropicana Field. The odds are NYGA's 139.
And they give it a 60% win probability. What's the thinking? Seems like pitching is a big part of it.
It really does. They're pointing to a pretty significant difference between the starting pitchers.
Who's on the mound?
You've got Jesus Luzardo for the Phillies. His ERA is fantastic, 1.94.
Wow.
And he's up against Ryan Pepiot for the Rays, whose ERA is quite a bit higher at 4.23.
Okay, so ERA is earned run average, right? Lower is better.
Exactly. It basically measures how many earned runs a pitcher gives up per 9 innings. So Luzardo's number suggests he's much better at preventing runs. That's, fundamental.
Makes sense. And beyond the pitching, they mentioned the Phillies offense.
Yeah, they see an edge there, too.
Yeah.
Phillies hitting .259 as a team, and they have a relatively low expected strikeout rate, around 20.5%.
And why is that combo important against the Rays?
While the Rays' team ERA is 3.79, so the Phillies' decent batting average means they should get hits. And the low strikeout rate means more balls in play.
Yeah.
More chances to actually score against that Tampa Bay pitching staff. It's about, putting pressure on.
Got it. Now, just quickly, for anyone maybe newer to this, money line, what does that mean?
Oh, right. Yeah, simple enough. It's just a bet on which team will win the game, straight up. Doesn't matter by how much.
Okay.
And those odds, like the Manning's 139 for Philly, tell you how much you'd have to risk to win $100. It also reflects who the favorite is. Philly's the favorite here.
Perfect. So, strong pitching edge, better offense. And that's the logic for the Phillies pick. Let's look at the good play then.
All right. That one is the Toronto Blue Jays, also money line at Nediga 122.
Against the Los Angeles Angels at Angels Stadium, 56% win probability on this one.
Yeah, so slightly less confident than the Phillies pick, but still favored.
What's the story here? Pitching again?
Pitching is definitely a factor, yeah, though the cap isn't quite as dramatic.
Okay.
It's Chris Bassett for the Jays. He's got a solid 2.95 ERA. He's facing Jose Soriano for the Angels, who's at 3.83. So still an advantage for Toronto, just, not as huge as the Phillies' advantage.
Right. A smaller edge, but still an edge. What about the lineups?
The Blue Jays offense is pretty consistent. They're hitting .241, expected strikeout rate around 19.5%.
So, similar logic. Good enough offense to potentially take advantage.
Pretty much. Not quite the Phillies' numbers, but it suggests they're capable of scoring against Soriano and the Angels. So the stats point towards Toronto, even if it's a bit closer.
Okay. So it's really interesting to see how both top picks lean heavily on analyzing that pitching matchup first and then factoring in the offense.
Exactly. It gives you a window into how these statistical insights are used. They're looking for those measurable advantages.
Yeah, and even small differences in ERA or batting average seem to matter a lot.
In pro sports, absolutely. The margins can be really thin. It's all about finding those edges, however small they seem.
So this really gives you, the listener, a clear example. Phillies. Big pitching edge, good offense. Blue Jays. Smaller pitching edge, consistent offense.
Precisely. It's not guesswork. It's based on comparing performance data.
Which leads to a final thought, maybe something for you to chew on. We've seen how stats drive predictions here in sports. But think about where else this is happening. How is this kind of data-driven analysis shaping decisions and predictions in, all sorts of other fields totally outside of sports? Where else is data telling the story of what might happen next?